Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV, gonna be casting a game between WhiteRa and Lucifron. It is a TVP on Metalopolis, a matchup that many Terrans have been having trouble with when it comes to the late game. And Blizzard has basically said they don't intend to make any changes until Heart of the Swarm, and they told Terrans to try to be a little bit more aggressive because Terran, they have more mid-game harassment options than any other race. Drops, Hellions, Banshees, etc., to just delay the Protoss' late game to a time when they can manage to deal with it, or maybe they can just kill the Protoss flat out come the mid game. If you watch like the Korean TVP, it looks like it's pretty well balanced unless you watch Purting, and I believe that's because Koreans are just very aggressive, and foreigners, they're more of a passive player. If you don't believe me, just compare PvP. That matchup in general, foreigners, they'll go up on 3-base PvP. Koreans, I rarely still see them going to 2-base, and maybe that's just because I don't watch that much Korean PvP, but there's a lot more just mechanic-focused play over on the Korean server. So, on another topic, QXC did release a blog talking about the actual time it takes to get your infrastructure up compared to a Protoss player. The Protoss, after the 150 mineral investment, and 75 seconds, they can get a unit out instantly thanks to warp gates. Terran, they have to build the barracks, which is 65 seconds, like the gateway. However, then they have to spend 20 seconds on a tech lab, bring that to 85 seconds, then they can get a marine out. So about 110 seconds it takes to get your first unit out of a barracks, despite the gateway being only 75 seconds. So the time it takes to get your infrastructure up is much, much longer. If you want a reactor on that barracks, well, then you're going to get a marine out after like 140 seconds. Almost double what it takes the Protoss to do. And we do have WhiteRa going to be going into Lucifron's base. This was, I believe, a 9 pylon scout. Going to come in and just see the gas. And WhiteRa does come in, sees gas is being mined, and now he will be turning away, and Lucifron lays down the supply depot, trapping that one probe in. The probe is going to be running around, going as far away from the Marine as he possibly can, and now Lucifron is going to be coming in to see what WhiteRa is up to. Gonna come in, see the gas timing, see there's only one gas, look at the Nexus, see, okay, you are using your Kerner boost pretty well, so I don't think you're going to be doing too much aggression early game. Maybe a 1-gate expand, and now the second Marine does come out, and WhiteRa's got to be thinking, okay, there's got to be a factory coming down, and Lucifron is going to be lifting up the barracks. And if you look, there's only no more SCVs in gas, so I don't know if WhiteRa actually scouted the SCVs full out of gas. We do have a factory being built right here, but WhiteRa probably should know about the factory, seeing how much gas was mined. If the probe did come in, he had to know at least 100 gas was mined. And when there's been 100 gas mine, chances are there's going to be a factory. It's 150, so he's getting a factory plus a reactor. And now the SCV still just going around, doesn't see anything else. And WhiteRa looks like he did a quick pause. This is, again, a replay. And Lucifron didn't really see too much going on. He saw this other simulator go up, I believe. Yes, he did. He sees 2 gas right now, but no tech after the gateway inside next to us. So it could either be like a 1-gate robo, or it could be a quick blink, but it is going to be a 1-gate expand, which is the other option. WhiteRa getting this 1 gas may just be to fool Lucifron, or maybe he changed his mind mid-build, because it is complete, and Lucifron sees it complete. WhiteRa, though, going to be going with a 1-gate expand. We'll see if Lucifron does have any idea this is coming. Does have his bunker up to fend off that 1 stalker. We do have another barracks, another 2 barracks actually being produced. The factory has floated its way over here, going to be getting Hellions out. This is very cute. If WhiteRa had some type of contain on Lucifron right now, the Hellions would be coming out extremely early, just past that contain. To give you an idea, medevacs generally won't come out until the 11 minutes marks. And these Hellions are going to be done and probably in WhiteRa's base by the 7 minutes. Most likely will be moving out when he has 3 or 4 Hellions. There we go. The third one is produced. We do have a robo facility almost done for WhiteRa. This factory is way out of the scouting path of an observer, so this is going to catch WhiteRa off of guard. He does have 2 stalkers up here, so he's not doing any contain whatsoever. Looking at Lucifron, he hasn't used any scans, so we don't know what Lucifron is thinking right now. what he thinks WhiteRa is doing, but he just knows, okay, you are not being too aggressive. He isn't getting another bunker, so I'm assuming that he thinks WhiteRa did go for a 1-gate expand, but this will be confirmed by these 3 Hellions that are coming, and WhiteRa has 2 Stalkers right here, going to be doing some damage to 1 Hellion right off the bat, but they are going to get into this middle line. Force Field goes off, blocking those Hellions, and 1 Hellion does fall. Probes are going down, though, and taking a look. 7, can he go up into 8? It doesn't look like that. He will be backing off with that 1 Hellion. The factory, in the meantime, did float all the way back home. Is going to be building a reactor for this starport. He does land his command center down here while he sees, okay, you did go for expand. I kind of know what you have. He didn't really get up into the main, still hasn't used a scan, so he doesn't know what tech WhiteRa's at. But he looked, he only saw the 1 sentry and the 3 stalkers, and then he's thinking, okay, that's not really that much gas. This is only 100, 150, 250 gas that Lucifron got to see, so he's got to think there's some tech up in WhiteRa's base, so he probably knows there's been a relatively early robo facility. So without seeing that, and he throws a scan down, maybe killing off one of the observers. I don't see it, so yes, now he knows there is definitely a robo facility, as he did kill off the observer. WhiteRa going to be sending a probe out to scout for the 3rd base. Meanwhile, the Stalker going to be going on patrol around the map just to see if there is anything fishy. And another Stalker coming out and going to be going on this 1 watchtower. And now the Stalker just patrolling around the map. No harm done, just checking in to make sure everything looks cozy. Probe now going to be going up as the Stalker did verify it was clean and is going to be building a forward pylon in this 1 location. And it looks like Lucifron wants to move out. His force is mainly just Marines. Does have 2 medevacs coming out, and these are relatively early-ish. I said drops normally come around 11 minutes. If he did chuck it all the way to WhiteRa's base, he'd get there by like 10-15. So maybe I was wrong with the medevac or drop timing, but regardless, he does have medevacs out. Not going to be using them. We do have WhiteRa's forward pylon right here just to help probably scout for drops, and also he can whoop in units and deal with the 3rd base, very easily. Just whooping a few zealots when Lucifron moves out, and then walk them on over to the 3rd when he decides to take it. But Lucifron is going in. Looks like he may be able to find this pylon. Will he sniff it out? No, he isn't. Just be going up in the drop right now. We do have an observer for WhiteRa just hanging out right here. He will see both of those medevacs, and that is good news for him. Additionally, WhiteRa on this 1 watchtower. Lucifron going to be going up there. Is going to be taking out this Stalker, and the medevacs now going to be coming in to do a drop. WhiteRa already on the move there, but that is only zealots and a few sentries. The force fields are going to have to be good to allow their zealots to do damage. There we go. Some pretty good force fields, actually. The Marauders and Marines take out all those sentries. That was what they wanted to get. Lucifron trying to go up here, but WhiteRa does have some units. Immortal going up this ramp. Meanwhile, Lucifron going to be going in the back to do a drop in the middle line. Immortal will be taken out. This drop is doing a lot of damage, killing all these sentries and that Immortal. So much gas has been taken out of WhiteRa's army, and now these Marines are coming in. Meanwhile, the drop not doing too much. WhiteRa does have a force right there, but these Marines killing off a few more workers, and now going to be going after the Zealots yet again. And Lucifron also sees the Twilight Council plus the Forge, and a big drop coming down back in this main. It looks like WhiteRa is ready for it and will be dealing with this just fine. Lucifron has to get his medevacs out, going to be picking them up, and it looks like both medevacs will be living. Very nice job by Lucifron pulling out at the exact right time. And interesting, WhiteRa always, or doesn't always, he does prefer going for a charge first. And this can be a little bit difficult, and we do have the Observer watching this 1 medevac, does position it, sees the medevac coming. Keep in mind, he does have a pylon here. Will he whoop in? Yes, he will. Getting a Stalker in to take out this medevac. Very nice job with that Observer. Unfortunately for WhiteRa, that was the medevac without any units. Lucifron pulling the 1 with units back, and maybe WhiteRa's going to think he has dealt with the drops. I'm not sure if WhiteRa realizes he didn't kill any dropships when they were retreating, so he may think he just killed all the units, when there still is 1 drop just hidden in the back over here. Lucifron is going to be moving out yet again with a handful of units. Does have a Marine here just watching the 3rd base timing as Lucifron is taking his 3rd base. Meanwhile, we do have a Stargate out of WhiteRa. That is a little bit odd. He is going for an Archon, but as I did say, like on the Antigua shipyards, the charge is very bad going first just because medevacs do good drops on like low ground to high ground. Running your charge useless, and you do need blink. But on Metalopolis, you can go charge first, and be relatively safe just because there's not too much abuse the medevac drops can do. Drop is coming into this main, going to kill a few more workers. Drop does get cleaned up, a few units do get away, and now Lucifron does pull all his units back here, does get in the medevac to get them away. Only 3 units right here. WhiteRa does see them, will be taken out. Meanwhile, Drop going to be coming back in, but those zealots do deal with it. Going into the workers killed, Lucifron has killed 17 workers. The worker count is 52 probes to 62 SCVs. Lucifron does have a third base before WhiteRa, as that is now just started, about halfway done. Medevacs are coming back out, but WhiteRa with a very nice unit placement, just being able to find all these drops before they get to inflict any damage. And now WhiteRa is going to be pulling his units back in to deal with this. Mirage are going to have to be running away. The Zealots are charging at them. 2 Zealots will most likely go down. No! All the other units do catch up, and now Lucifron in a lot of trouble of losing these units, and it looks like they will be able to get away thanks to these medevacs. Stalkers right here. Blink just not done yet. He's actually not researching Blink. A little bit odd, WhiteRa. Not going to be going for that Blink. It is very hard to deal with drops without Blink. Blink really does help it. Lucifron does have 3 ghosts now in his army. Handful of barracks, getting more and more medevacs out. WhiteRa doing a probe transfer over to this natural at a pretty good timing. And going into a saturation, you can see just perfect on both. Well, his main, not so perfect, is missing 3, but it's close to being mined out, so it's not that big of a deal. Going over to this, it looks like this will be perfect once he gets this 1 gas up. So WhiteRa with very nice saturation. Lucifron doing the same thing. Well, that base doesn't look so good. This base, a little bit more. And then the main, not so bad. Some SCVs are out building, doing things like SCVs do. They can't just whoop in a building like the Protoss, and we do have a scan going up here. The High Templars are kept in the warp prism to prevent them from being sniped and EMP'd, and they will be dropped, and then once they get dropped, they will let loose their storm. Scans go down, Ghosts are going to come out. Some beautiful EMPs on a lot of their Zealots, but the Templars do come out and get a nice storm off on that ramp. Another storm, and there are still more High Templars in this one warp prism. Will he be laying loose? Yes, 2 go down, and they immediately go into Archon mode. It looks like the Ghost may have got an EMP off. I'm not exactly sure. Some nice cutting by Lucifron right now against these Zealots. And there's not really any Stalkers. And now a beautiful split does come out of that bio. Oh my god, Lucifron. The Stalkers, though, are coming in. And I don't care how well you split. Stalkers will just clean up all those red units, especially with that Archon tanking the damage. WhiteRa has a big cluster of production right here. Is going for 2-2, I believe. Yeah, 2-2 being built right now. Lucifron is at 2-2 already, so he is ahead in the upgrades, but he has not started 3-3 just yet. So WhiteRa most likely will pull ahead. We do have a factory with a reactor. Most likely will be going on to this medevac, so he can produce a lot of Vikings if he ever needs to, as we do have that Robo Bay now completing, with 2 more Robo facilities being built, so he'll be able to produce 3 Colossus at a time. And now that 1 pylon does whoop in a few Zealots, denying mining at this 4th base. Going into the workers killed. We have 12 SCVs actually killed. Do these Zealots, are these heroes? No, they aren't. I missed some harassment somewhere. Well, maybe I caught it. I don't know exactly. SCVs are being pulled, denying mining time with these Zealots. And now that 1 Zealot does go down, Lucifron will most likely find the 1 pylon, going to be dropping the mules down. And this Zealot going to be going off into the corner and living another day. Meanwhile, WhiteRa going to be taking yet another base, so both of these players will be going on 5 bases, and Lucifron is about to hit that time in TVP where where Terrans just have issues. Jinro, he's kind of found an answer to late game TVP. It is nukes ahoy. He gets like 4 nukes out and just constantly nukes around, uses nukes to try to catch the Protoss army off guard, and another Zealot is going to be coming in to deal some damage. At the same time, that 1 hidden Zealot tries to go back for this 3rd base, will get taken out before he does any damage. But this 1 Zealot and Stalker doing some damage. 0 kills on the Zealot, 0 on the Stalker actually. And the Stalker going to be falling to this PF. At the same time, Lucifron going to be moving out to attack WhiteRa. WhiteRa doesn't really have that much, but what he has is very big. 2 Archons, 3 Colossus, and of course, the High Templars in that War Prism. So much AoE out for WhiteRa. There are a handful of Ghosts by Lucifron. It is going to take some critical EMPs, and I think, actually, he doesn't really have that many Zealots. He is definitely Marauder heavy with 31 Marauders and 19 Marines. And WhiteRa is relatively Zealot heavy. He has a lot of Zealots on the map, and those Marauders, they don't really do that much damage against the Zealots. He's mainly relying on these Ghosts to get perfect EMPs off to allow Marauders to actually kill Zealots. Doesn't have any Marines to do that initial burst. And this one pylon is still alive, could whip in units at any time. 18 Workers killed to 12. Looks like Lucifron is going to come up, take out this one Zealot on the Watchtower. Meanwhile, WhiteRa does want to move in and do some damage. Lucifron is on the back foot as he is going away. A lot of Ghost here. There is an Observer with the army. Scan does go down. He sees it is coming. At the same time, this one force is going to kill a few Zealots. And there's medevacs are going to get taken down. Oh, man, that is some big mistake by Lucifron. All the Ghosts do cloak. 3 do go down there. Getting some nice EMPs off on those Urkons. All the Urkons are without shields. But there go the High Templars with those Storms. And without a lot of medevacs to heal, Lucifron in a lot of trouble. The Ghosts are getting more EMPs off. Vikings are taking out these Colossus. There's not that many Stalkers left for anti-air. Lucifron, though, is hanging back. Doesn't have anything to heal his bio units. His bio units are very close to being dead. One more stim will put them all into the deep red. So he's choosing not to engage. If he killed off these Stalkers, all the Colossus would be dead. But because those medevacs got sniped right here, he can no longer engage. And this base looks like it will be falling. SCVs are trying to repair. We do have a small hit squad right here. Going to kill this one pylon, stopping in a few weapons. Now going to be cutting those Zealots. This one base does go down along with a lot of Lucifron's SCVs. And this Viking is not going to kill the Colossus. One more volley would have taken out the Colossus. Meanwhile, you still have the hit squad right here. Going to take out this pylon as Zealots whoop in, and he does not get it in time. Is going to be delaying that +3 armor, and now WhiteRa is going to be pulling his forces back. Has taken out one of Lucifron's bases, and Command Center is going to be coming back in. Try to land, but there are 4 Stalkers here, still without Blink. A little bit odd from WhiteRa. He does have 3-2. Lucifron is at 3-2 as well, I believe, with 3-3 just about done. Yes, that armor just on the nick of completing 5 Ghosts on the way with more medevacs. Command Center will be getting repaired. The worker count is 44 SCVs to 63 probes. WhiteRa did kill a full base worth of SCVs in that last engagement, which is absolutely huge. We do have WhiteRa not putting another pylon to get this forward, so he is missing out on that +3 upgrade by just about probably 30 seconds. And there we go. The pylon is going to be placed. He's going to get that chrono boosted and be happy with that upgrade. Finally, that one pylon is going to be falling. The bane of Lucifron's existence does go down. It is 145 supply to 191. Lucifron doesn't have money to re-macro. Ghost is moving out. He doesn't have nukes, so I don't know what he plans on doing. Gonna be cloaking. And he is getting 2 nukes right now, so he is going to be going out. I was just a little bit odd about the Solar Mission Ghost, but he is getting nukes now, so he will be cloaked for some time. Will he run out of energy before he gets a nuke off? And does WhiteRa have a... No, he doesn't. Oh, man. This could actually be disaster for WhiteRa. He's not keeping an Observer with his army. Only has... Well, he's got 1 Observer just now coming out, so it looks like he does know about that. This one Ghost is hiding just between those 2 pylons, getting energy back. And maybe he'll be able to land a nuke from that high ground on this army. How awesome would it be if he catches WhiteRa with a nuke? Supplied now 156 to 198 going into this econ. You can see it now about evening up. And a nuke now going to be going down. WhiteRa immediately builds 2 cannons on the high ground, 1 on the low ground. Actually, 2 on the low ground, putting this base like clustered with cannons. The nuke is going to land. Not going to kill really any probes. Gets 3. Not all that much. And the Ghost does kill off another probe. Meanwhile, WhiteRa going to be coming in, attacking this PF yet again. And Lucifron not going to be helping this. Just going to be letting the PF go down. Has his Vikings hotkeyed with his medevacs yet again, it looks like. And this was what cost him losing all the medevacs last time. Another nuke is going off. And it looks like on this one mineral line, but we do have a big engagement right now as WhiteRa is moving on in, and those Colossus are going down to all of these Vikings. Ghost gets some EMPs off. Those Urkons do fall, and there's so many Vikings, not much anti-air by WhiteRa. Those Vikings are tearing apart all those Colossus. Critical mistake by WhiteRa. And another nuke is going off. Lucifron at the same time is nuking the bejesus out of WhiteRa's base. This one goes up to 22 kills. And, oh man, where's that other nuke? Oh, I guess it's right here. Gonna be nuking. That's not an effective nuke. It would have been much better on all those pylons. Lucifron is close to WhiteRa's supply right now. The worker count is 35 probes to 14 SCVs. 53 workers killed to the 66. And yet another nuke. Back at this base, WhiteRa's like last mining base with probes. They do get pulled over to safety. Going to be running by a cannon where there is detection. And WhiteRa, does he have any Colossus? Just one Colossus. Those Vikings will be taking that out, and Lucifron has to kite backwards now. Not getting any EMPs off. Those EMPs are really late. You can see those Zealots now just getting EMP'd, but the Marauders have already gone down. A storm going down on those Zealots. Lots of Zealots in the red, but Lucifron's units can no longer stim. He needs to land these Vikings to kill off the Zealots, but the Vikings are not landing. They are getting stormed. Now they decide to land in midst of a storm, getting stormed yet again. The Vikings go down, and so does Lucifron's chances. There goes the GG. Marauders just quit. Oh my god, what a crazy game. And, I want to look at that middle again. How many medevacs went down here? It's like right here, I think. Let's just go a little bit faster. Okay, so what Lucifron did, huge hotkey mistake right now. So if we look at Lucifron's hotkeys, you can see 3 has his Vikings and medevacs on it. So what's going to happen? He's going to send 3 Vikings in to try to kill a Colossus. And his 5 medevacs are going to follow. And those 5 medevacs really would have turned the tides of this game. See, medevacs are like, oh, we shouldn't belong here! And the Vikings don't even get a shot off. And now we have the Ghost engaging and only lost 2 medevacs. But he is going to be putting them back, and what happens to them? They get feedback. One goes down, one goes out of energy. And then, now that he doesn't really have any medevacs, mainly because of that fight. I know only 2 went down in the fight, but struggling to get the medevacs out, he was a little bit flustered, put them out of position. When he brought them in, he allowed them to get feedback. They weren't really protected by his army at all. But let's say he had those medevacs right now. What would Lucifron be able to do? He'd be able to get another stim in because his units would be healed up. If he gets another stim in, there's 4 Stalkers that he has to kill. And 3 of them don't have shields. So that is like a volley from all these units. You could go in, snipe all the Stalkers, run away again. And then these Vikings would be free to kill the Colossus. And to add insult and injury, WhiteRa is whooping in a lot of Zealots right now when he needs Stalkers. But because Lucifron can't engage to kill these 4 Stalkers, preventing the 3 Vikings from killing all the Colossus, he can whoop in those Zealots and not be punished for it. So that was a really cool game, I thought. I hope you guys liked it. We'll watch that end engagement again. I think I kind of miss it trying to go to the nuke. That's one of those things that's really hard to decide. Like, want to show the nuke going off what it's going off on, and I also want to catch the battle. It's hard to do that. So there were 2 nukes. One disappeared. Oh, so that second nuke. So we just heard 2 nukes go off. So yeah. You ready? This is really cute. I miss this in the game. This Ghost is up here, trying to kill that pylon. I'm gonna nuke! The cannon's like, no, what will come? Will the Ghost be able to outlive? He just gives up. He is a quitter and then dies by the cannon. So that's where one of those nukes went. And the second one does go here. I think he may have actually been able to land that one nuke on this base. So we're going to watch the battle. We'll go back and watch the nuke on the 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Storm's going down on a lot of that bio. Vikings now getting in position, and look at Lucifron's hotkeys now. Nope, still has his medevacs on hotkeys with his Vikings. I guess that's just what he feels comfortable with. I really don't like it, but Lucifron's a much better player than me, so somehow he makes that work. Maybe when it comes to the battle, he control clicks Vikings to then click on Colossus. That's most likely what he does. And you can see WhiteRa's army right now, 9 Colossus, and 7 Stalkers? 7 Stalkers to defend the air for 9 Colossus. Big blunder by WhiteRa right here. I guess he's got those Urkons, but those EMPs eat those Urkons alive. And the Fire Force is going to struggle to kill all the Stalkers off before the Colossus kill them. But these Vikings are just having a field day. And you see that mini-map just disappear of workers. And briefly, Lucifron does go in the supply lead after killing 20-some probes. So now we'll watch the nuke. It's coming! Boom! One more time for dramatic effect. There's no good angle on this, except right here. Oh, I can hear it. How long? There it is. Let's see how fast I can hit P. And then we'll go in SC2 gears. I want to see if we can put this even slower mode. No, that's not cool. Okay, while I load up SC2 gears, we'll put this up. So, Okay, so, you guys ready for SC2 gears? I know I am. So, boom. Already in it. So, we can look at macro, micro. I mean, APM, this is just for you to oogle at. I'm not going to be doing too much talking about it. Not really that important. So, what I really like looking at in terms of just looking at games is seeing how good the macro is. And you do that by kind of looking for a straight line. If you see it spiky like this, generally that's not good unless they have absolutely... Well, if it's spiky, then it's not good. Trust me. What you want is not many gaps. And the gaps, it's kind of hard because you change the granularity and this horizontal axis is dynamic. This could be a 15-minute game and be stretched out across the same area as like this 30-minute game. So I never know if they've ever had idle time on the gateway, so what I look for is just spikes. Like Lucifron right here, you can see that's relatively solid. This is telling me that he is pretty on key with his production. He doesn't have many gaps, and everything is just still constant. He's not like right here, where he dips down, doesn't really build all that much, and he's like, oh, there goes a spike. That's because all of his production facilities were idle. And then he just starts back up. So that's why I don't really like the spikes, because it means that all your production facilities were idle at one point. Hopefully that makes sense. And Lucifron's got some pretty nice macro. Diving down into the 10 granularity. 5. So yeah, I really do like Lucifron's macro, like between this period in the game. That looks beautiful. WhiteRa also, it looks like his macros got better. He's actually improved a lot lately. So, and that's just from looking at it. And right here, this is a scary moment. 5 Colossus and 6 High Templar. And then the next one, 5 High Templar. So that's like in the period of 2 minutes. There's 5 Colossus and 11 High Templars, not to mention the 2 Stalkers and 3 Zealots. That is a scary moment in the game. So what else can we look at? Main building control? No, that doesn't work unless it's Zerg. Builds tech. Ability groups. 5 nukes. 15 scans. 5 nukes landed, 16 built. They weren't too successful, to say the least. 15 storms. And was feedback. 3 feedbacks. Units, take this off. 27 ghost to the 34 high templars. 89 marauders, 91 marines. 36 vikings to the 15 colossus. So, pretty good game. I think a lot of it does kind of come to that one weird moment come like that engagement. The first time WhiteRa attacked Lucifron. And Lucifron, like, fumbled with all his air units. I think that was a huge part of the game. And if you're still listening to this cast, I should have done this before I did the analysis. I meant to do it yesterday. I just want to thank everyone for upvoting my thread on Reddit, the cast between the Muslim and, oh my god, J Echo. That amazing Zerg J Echo. Check out his stream. I just want to thank a lot of people with that. And, yeah, I think I may start casting tournaments again come maybe within the next 2 weeks. I'll start doing that Saturdays again. I don't know. I did just overclock my PC, so hopefully the quality is a little bit better. I upped the quality of my encoder. I took out B-frames, which is that YouTube gray screen issue, so my video file is going to be a lot larger. And I also increased the bitrate by as much as XSplit would allow me, which is 4,000. So now my VODs have a bitrate of 14K. So the quality should be pretty darn good on this YouTube upload, I hope. And overclocking it should allow me to stream 1080p for when I do my tournament cast. So that's why I spent most of today overclocking my PC, getting new cooling. My cooling was a pain today. Oh my god. So I'm not sure if any of you build computers. You saw my cast a while ago about my pain of getting this new Ivy Bridge working, about my motherboard being too big for my case, and then my power supply being too big for the case, etc. So now I had to put my new heatsink in. I got a Thermal Tank Frio OCK whatever. I think the main thing is knowing it's a Thermal Tank Frio. It's huge, and I had to put a mount on the back of my motherboard. And most cases kind of have an opening. If you open the other side case to get to the back of your motherboard, you have a little opening in the metal plate, so you can put the plate on, or the mount on. Of course, my machine did not, so I had to take my motherboard out of the case to put my mount on the back of my motherboard to get the heatsink on, which was a royal pain, let me tell you. But enough with that. If you listen to these ramblings, let me know in the comments so I know to keep doing them. A lot of people I know don't like the analysis and the ramblings at the end. However, the main reason I do it is because, well, I like talking, maybe. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's why I do it. But also, it creates anti-spoilers in the videos. So, like, if I ever think of... Well, the thing I hate about watching VODs, honestly, is I look at a game and my mouse or something accidentally moves. I'm like, oh, great. Thanks, little buh. You came up and I know the game's going to end in a minute. That sucks. But by putting all this dead air time at the end of the video, it prevents that from happening. So, I hope you guys appreciate that. And yeah, take care, and I will see you guys next time. I hope my mic was working. Yep, I see red. Okay. Whew, that would have sucked.